Writing a Book Report, a guided 5-week lesson plan for high school students by Catherine Ward. The topic and theme of this lesson is to use Fisher and Frey's gradual release of responsibility model to instruct 9th and 10th grade students how to write a book report. The standards used in this lesson were all taken from the Ohio Department of Education ELA standards. I've included a link to the webpage where all these standards can be found on page 46 of their document. Some standards that will be used in this lesson that are from the document are to cite strong and thorough textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says, explicitly as well as inferences drawn from the text, to determine a central idea of a text and analyze its development over the course of the text, including how it emerges and is shaped and refined by specific details, provide an objective summary of the text, to analyze how the author unfolds an analysis or series of ideas or events, including the order in which the points are made, how they are introduced and developed, and the connections that are drawn between them. And all these standards are taken from the Ohio Department of Education ELA standards. Some essential questions that students will be able to answer at the end of this lesson are: what genre of literature does this book belong to? Can you identify the major themes in this novel? Can you identify the introductory elements of the beginning, the transitional elements of the middle, and the concluding elements of the end? Give a brief summary of the novel. Who are the main and supporting characters? How does having knowledge about the author benefit your understanding of the novel? These are all questions that students will be able to answer thoroughly and comfortably by the end of this lesson. The literary connections of this lesson will be how students can apply critical reading and writing skills. They will be able to learn how to participate in academic literary discussion, and they will have an understanding about how to create a literary review. So they will read, they will write, and then through discussion, they will learn how to create a well-written book report. Day 1 of the lesson is focused on the instructor teaching the class. So it is solely the instructor instructing literary elements, elements of an essay, and modeling how to write an outline and how to form a rough draft. Day 1 is focus lessons, direct instruction, and modeling. Students learn from the instructor. Day 2 of this lesson focuses on guided instruction. So on day 2, students and the instructor will use non-linguistic representations and advanced organizers to prepare an outline as a group. So together, students and the instructor will learn the elements of an essay, and they will prepare information together. Using non-linguistic representations, students will be able to understand how characters, conflict, setting, resolution all relate to the plot of a novel. They will understand how to organize, how to outline, and how to take all that information and form a draft. And they will understand the 3 crucial parts of an essay: introduction, information, and in conclusion. Day 3 of the lesson is focused on collaborative learning. So day 3 involves using peer collaboration to develop a rough draft from an existing outline. Students together will work on creating a rough draft from the information used in previous lessons. So from their existing outlines that they were able to develop together and with the instructor, they will then use peer collaboration to develop their introductions, their thesis statements, their supporting information, their textual reference, their recap of their main argument and information and their closing statement. Day 3 allows students to talk with other students and to get ideas and to form a rough draft or the beginning of a rough draft. Day 4 of the lesson is focused on independent practice with conferring. So students will use day 4 to receive feedback from their peers on their rough drafts. Each student will read their rough draft to their group. Every member of the group will write comments to the student who's reading their draft. They will comment on what that student did well on and how they could improve their draft. After each student has read their draft and received comments from the group, they will use the rest of the class to edit their report. So day 4 takes an element of collaborative learning in the beginning, but by the end of day 4, students should be working independently on improving their drafts. Day 5 of the lesson is assessment. On day 5, students will be assessed formatively and summatively. Formative assessment will include how well students have been able to effectively summarize and note take, engage in peer collaboration and feedback. They will present and read their finished book report to the class. This includes an element of public speaking. And they will be assessed on how well they have managed their time. Have they been able to complete their final draft by the deadline? They will be assessed summatively on how well their paper is organized and constructed, the quality of their information, have they used correct grammar, have they been able to demonstrate a clear and thorough understanding of the book, does their book report include an intro, supporting and concluding paragraphs, and does it include a personal reaction? So day 5 assessment will be students reading their book report to the class and then turning it in for a final grade. So my hope is by the end of this lesson, students will be able to produce a book report that was well written, organized, and accurate to the text. Students will present their finished book report to the class before turning it in. And I've included this because I think it's important that students begin to gain public speaking experience. And that's the end of my 5-day lesson plan. Thank you for your time.